In the autumn of 1888, London was not just a city, it was a living entity groaning under the weight of fog, coal, and abject poverty. In its darkest depths, in the labyrinthine alleys of Whitechapel, where moonlight failed to penetrate, a devil walked. He had no name, no face, no voice. He was merely a shadow moving between damp walls, lying in wait for his victims, destitute women forced by necessity to sell their bodies for a few pence. But he did not want their bodies. He wanted something else, something far darker. He wanted to write his name in the annals of horror in letters of blood. And so he did. He became Jack the Ripper.
Chapter of Blood, where the legend was written. It all began in the dawn of August 31st. The body of Mary Ann Nichols was found sprawled on the roadside, her throat slashed and her abdomen savagely ripped open. The shock was great, but police assumed it was a passing crime of passion. Then came Annie Chapman, just 8 days later. Here, the full picture of horror emerged. Not only was her throat cut, but organs had been skillfully removed from her body, suggesting terrifying anatomical knowledge. Amid the panic of the residents, the killer decided to introduce himself to the world. On September 27th, the Central News Agency received a letter written in red ink. The sender signed it Jack the Ripper. In the letter, he mocked the police and promised more crimes, saying he would clip the lady's ears off next time. This was the official birth of the legend. He was no longer just a murderer. He had become a sadistic character, communicating with the public and reveling in their terror. Chapter of Terror, where a man became a legend. With the murders of Catherine Eddowes and Mary Kelly, the latter being the most horrific, as her body was utterly mutilated inside her own room, the legend exploded completely. In the eyes of the people, Jack was no longer just a man. He had transformed into a supernatural being. The sorcerer or mason myth, some linked the anatomical precision of the crimes to occult rituals or secret Masonic knowledge. They claimed the murders were rites to consecrate demonic powers in London's old districts. The depraved nobleman myth, a rumor spread that the killer was a member of the royal family or a royal physician committing these crimes to protect a great secret, and that the police were covering for him. Prince Albert Victor was widely rumored to be the prime suspect. The female killer myth, even women were not above suspicion. It was said that Jack might actually be Jill, perhaps an illegal midwife taking revenge on streetwalkers, or a doctor's insane wife. Jack was now everything and nothing, a ghost haunting the collective imagination, the embodiment of pure evil that could be hiding in anyone. Chapter of Truth. The end that was not an end. Suddenly, as it began, it stopped. After the murder of Mary Kelly on November 9th, 1888, Jack the Ripper vanished forever. No one was ever arrested, and the case was never officially solved. But what is the truth behind the legend? The truth is that Jack the Ripper was most likely one ordinary man, not a supernatural creature. Scotland Yard worked from a list of over 200 suspects, and among the names that stood out were Aaron Kosmiski, a poor Jewish barber from Whitechapel itself, who suffered from mental illness. The leading detectives placed him at the top of their suspect list. Modern DNA analysis on a shawl belonging to one of the victims, though its accuracy is debated, points to him as the most likely suspect. Montague John Druitt, a lawyer who committed suicide shortly after the crimes ceased, making him a prominent suspect. Walter Sickert, a famous artist known for his dark paintings. Some modern theories, though unconfirmed, have linked him to the crimes. How did the legend end?
The legend of Jack the Ripper did not end. It persisted. The murders ended, but the legend was born to stay. The official investigation concluded, but the investigation within the human imagination never ceased. The legend ended by transforming from a criminal case into a cultural phenomenon. Jack the Ripper became the archetype of the modern serial killer, the character that inspired hundreds of books, films, series, and works of art. His mystery is what made him immortal. The lack of a definitive answer left the door wide open for speculation and imagination. The conclusion? Historical truth suggests a brutal killer lived and died in the shadow of Victorian London. But the legend he created, the myth of Jack the Ripper, escaped those narrow alleys to live forever in humanity's collective unconscious, a terrifying reminder that the greatest mysteries are those that remain unsolved.